Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Nelly's TV, where we bring you enlightenment that you can use. Today's date is Friday, 30th of May, 2025, and it is the day to commemorate Biafra's Heroes and Heroines Day. All right? And before now, the Biafran Republic government in exile had already issued a sit-at-home order all across Biafran territory in the contraption called Nigeria. So the order was issued by the Biafran Republic government in exile, ably led presently by Mazi Ogechukwu Nkere on behalf of the Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa, who is facing trial there in Finland. But despite his trial, nothing stops. Everything has continued going, and it is your obligation as a Biafran to support the struggle through the Biafra Republic government in exile. So having said that, I would like to let us know something. You know, each time we talk about observing a day like this, you see intellectuals, people who went to school but become even more naive after their graduation than they were when they were looking for admission. They will come out and begin to shout, hey, why would you order people to sit at home? Why would you do this? Why would you stop people going about their normal businesses? Hey, forget about that. Forget the Biafra has come and gone and all that, and we shouldn't continue going backwards. This is, I don't know how to put it. This is just an indication that somebody has lost his senses, apparently, because in every normal society, every people remember their history. So why would it come to your own and you say forget your history? That is arrant nonsense, you know. Arrant nonsense to say the least. You cannot forget your history. If you do that, then you are no longer yourself. You have turned to something else. You know, I have taken a little time to check out other countries, and I see that every country respects their fallen heroes. Every country respects their fallen heroes. So why would you come to our own and some intellectuals will come and say, why would you others sit at home? We must sit at home in order to respect those who gave their lives in order to protect us. Because what happened during the Biafran Nigeria Civil War was pure genocide that would have, wiped away the entire race called Biafra, the entire race, more especially Igbos, because that was their target. So people laid down their lives in order to protect you and still keep you existing today. And when they say, let's observe a day for them, then you say, why would you tell me to sit at home? That means you don't have respect. You don't have respect. The country you respect so much today, called Israel, suffered Holocaust in Germany. Up till today, Israel observes a day, a memorial day for the people who gave their lives, who lost their lives in the Holocaust they suffered in Germany under the dictator then called Adolf Hitler. They still observe it today. And it is an honor to those who laid down their lives then. Okay? They are not benefiting anything per se from it, but it's an honor. Some of you don't also know that even in Germany, Germany observes a day to respect those who gave their lives, who lost their lives in wars. It is called in German language Volkstrauertag. Volkstrauertag. It is observed on the second Sunday in November every year. That is Germany for you. What of the United States of America? United States of America observes every last Monday in the month of May. They observe a day, that day, to remember those who gave their lives in order to fight for the country, because they also passed through crisis, internal crisis. So those who lost their lives, they respect them. Okay, on the last Monday of May of every year. What of United Kingdom? United Kingdom observes second Sunday of every November to remember those who died in several wars. A 2-minute silence is always observed at 11 a.m. In addition to that, there is something they call Armistice Day. Armistice Day is a day that marks the end of the First World War, and Germany of no United Kingdom observes it, and it is always on the 11th of November. 2-minute silence is also observed at 11 a.m. So why would it come to that of Biafra, and people who claim to have gone to school will be talking around nonsense? It must be observed. And for those of you who don't really know what transpired until this 30th of May became this significant, I am going to take you down memory lane, history lane, to enlighten you, because it's our duty here to enlighten you in order to know what is going on, what transpired, what is transpiring, what you need to believe, and what you need to throw out as as a trash. All right? You need to know. So before we continue, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and like the video and share it with your friends and well-wishers. Let's continue. So like I said, today is May 30th, 2025, and it marks 58 years since Colonel Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, the then military governor of the Eastern region, declared the birth of the Republic of Biafra. So it was on the 30th of May that Ojukwu announced that the Eastern region of Nigeria, which comprised even the place they now call South today, which they separated from Southeast in order to divide us, it comprised that place also. That was the then Eastern region. So Ojukwu declared it the Republic of Biafra on this day, 30th May 1967. And how did it get to this point? The declaration of May 30th, 1967 arose from the desire of a people to survive in the face of targeted violence and displacement, following a series of pogroms in northern Nigeria that claimed the lives of tens of thousands of eastern Nigerians, predominantly Ndi Igbo, and the failure of the Nigerian state to uphold the Aburi Accord a peace agreement reached in Ghana. Ojukwu took a bold and irreversible step. In his speech, he proclaimed, "Having mandated me to proclaim on your behalf and in your name that Eastern Nigeria be a sovereign and independent republic, now therefore I, Lieutenant Colonel Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, do hereby solemnly proclaim that the territory and region known as and called Eastern Nigeria today, with her continental shelf and territorial waters, shall henceforth be an independent sovereign state of the name and title of the Republic of Biafra." Men and brethren, that was how it all happened. And let me take us down memory lane again. What is this Aburi Accord? Aburi Accord came as a result of, like what I just told you now. There was a program in the northern part of Nigeria where the Southerners, mostly those of Igbo extraction, were massacred in large numbers, and Ojukwu was uncomfortable being the governor of the Eastern region and asked Nigeria to intervene, but the then government of Yakubu Gowon was unable to do anything to restore peace or to protect the lives of the Southeasterners living in the north. So Ojukwu said, no, we have to discuss this thing. And they decided to go to a neutral ground, and that place was Aburi, a place called Aburi in Ghana. It was when Kwame Nkrumah was the president of Ghana, but Kwame Nkrumah was not the one that chaired the meeting. All right. So at the meeting at Aburi, Ghana was actually chaired by a man called Lieutenant General J.A. Ankara. He was the chairman of the Ghana National Liberation Council and also the chairman of the Abri Accord between Ojoko and Gowon. So what were the items in the agenda? Simple. A very, very simple things that the country should do under normal circumstances if there are no ulterior wicked motives behind them, behind their backs, behind their minds. Okay. The agenda included to reorganize the armed forces, to constitutional arrangement. There was Ojukwu was saying let's maintain this. Let's go back to regionalism, where every region will control their resources and do everything, and let the center not be this powerful, because the center became too powerful at that point. That is the federal government. So he said, let's divulge power. Those were the things which they call, what do they call it again today? Restructuring. It was a simple request. Another one was the issue of displaced persons within Nigeria, the people who were displaced from the north, the southerners. So Juku said, let's see how we can rehabilitate these people and let this country continue moving in a peaceful way. These were the things. And after all the discussions, they came back. According to reports, there was no problem. Agreements were reached. But when Gowon came back to Nigeria, he reneged on the agreements and went ahead to split Nigeria into 12 states. Obviously, on the advice of Britain, because Britain has been the problem Nigeria has up to today. The job of Britain is to divide people and make them weaker. They have this tactic of divide and rule. So they advised Yakubu Gowon to split Nigeria into 12 states so as to decimate the Southeast, because the Southeast was growing very fast economically, and they were envious of it. They were afraid of it. They wanted to suppress and subdue the young, growing region. So that was what happened. And so when Ojukwu saw that Gowon had reneged on this agreement, he decided to say, no, we cannot continue in Nigeria because our safety is no longer guaranteed. And when he declared it, there was a brutal civil war, which Nigeria brought to the territory of Biafra, and an estimated 3 million civilians of Biafra extraction were massacred, and most of them were children and women, not even the fighting force, but innocent people in their houses, in the hospitals, in schools, in public places. Okay, so that was what happened. And so the thing led to a war that lasted 3 years, and people lost their lives. A war that wouldn't have, or rather, that shouldn't have happened in the first place. They made it happen. So it was a painful thing, and today is set aside to remember those who gave their lives in that genocide. So now, but the problem we have is that envy, jealousy, hate has not stopped flowing in the veins of those who rule Nigeria against the Igbos. They continue to fight them. They continue to attack them. While Biafra was, talking about celebrating or observing a day to remember their heroes and heroines, a man who calls himself Nuhu Ribadu, who happens to be the what do you call him? What do you call him again? National Security Advisor to Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, was going about gallivanting. And I will show you what he said. Just look at the screen right now. This is Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor to the president of Nigeria, Tinubu. According to Daily Post Nigeria, once they heard that the Biafra Republic government in exile has issued a sit-at-home order, Nuhu Ribado came out to say, look at it, National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribado has stated that the sit-at-home order enforced in the Southeast by the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, is fast losing its grip. I could not find the other publication where he actually talked about this 30th May sit at home. He said that nobody will observe it. That was Nuhu Ribado. Nobody would observe it. Nuhu Ribado, are you sure that nobody would observe it? Today is 30th May 2025. And Nuhu Ribadu is saying that nobody would observe the sit at home to honor our fallen heroes. I'm going to show you what happened today. And at the end of the day, we will know whether actually nobody observed the sit at home. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to look at this. We are going to be looking at this. Look at this. This is Umahia. Okay. This is Umahia on the 30th day of May 2025. And you may say, how can you prove that this is Umahia? I will show you other pictures. This place is the tower, Abia Tower in Umahia. Everywhere is empty. Look at the next picture. Look at the main road. This is the expressway. Everywhere is empty. Look at their shops, markets, everywhere is empty. Look at another major road, everywhere is empty. So how do you know it's Umaya? Look at the headline news here. Can you see it? Vanguard, the nation Nigeria. The nation Nigeria itself is a Nigerian national newspaper. It says, Umahia streets empty as residents observe IPOB sit at home. That is today's paper. Okay, that's today's paper. 30th of May 2025. Look at it, the Nation Online. I'm going to show you another one. So, Nuhu Ribadu, are you sure that nobody is going to pay attention to the sit-at-home order? Just watch out. So, this is another one. Here is Onisha. Look at it. Very empty. Shops are shut. The road is scanty. Look at it. The road is empty. Look at it. The road is empty. So that is about that. Okay, I saw in Itona Hotel. These are different cities. The first one here is Onitsha. In Itona Hotel is in Aba. So let's continue. I'm going to show you another town. Okay, back to Umahia again. Just pay attention. Ladies and gentlemen, let's know whether Nuhu Ribado is the one speaking for Biafrans. Look at it here, the Guardian Nigeria, Guardian newspaper. And this is where closed markets Biafra Day was deeply felt in Umahia today as residents honor the fallen, not with protest, but stillness. People are saying we want to stay at home. We are not protesting. We are sitting at home, and people are just bothering themselves unnecessarily. If somebody wants to sit at home, is it a crime? Huh? So I just want to show you all these things so you understand how all these things go. Okay, this was the one we saw earlier. Now, In all these things, my people, in all these things, what is Nuhu Ribado's problem? Nuhu Ribado's problem is the same thing we have been talking about, hate against the Igbos for no just reason. Nuhu Ribado, there is a very serious problem going on in the north. People are dying in large numbers. Nuhu Ribado is not talking about it. I am going to show us a video here for us to see and listen to what is going on in the north. Okay, we're going to see it. We're going to see what is going on in the north, which Nuhu Ribado is not ready to talk about. Nuhu Ribado is not ready to talk about that. Now listen to this.
On Palm Sunday, which was April the 13th, just as Christians in the western part of Jaws were settling for the evening after celebrating Palm Sunday with shouts of hallelujah. There were thunderings. There were thunderous gunshots all over the community, and more than 55 people were massacred at the
Okay, did you hear that? That was in April, just last month. Just last month, terrorists and bandits invaded a community and more than 55 people were unalived. Did Nuhu Ribadu talk about that? He didn't talk about that. But people who want to sit at home just peacefully in order to honor their fallen heroes, Nuhu Ribadu is here talking rubbish. So this is how they misplace priorities. And when they try to brainwash you, you follow them. Don't follow these people. They don't mean well for us. Look at what is happening in the north. They are not facing it, but they are busy. Their focus is on the southeast. Why must they sit at home? Because they have seen that the struggle for Biafra is gathering serious momentum, and it will continue to gather serious momentum. Listen
an
up.
instant, and dozens of houses were burned down. And interestingly, or rather, more heartbreaking is the fact that children and women form the vast majority of the victims of these massacres.
Mm.
In one particular room, I walked into a room where I saw the bodies of 8 children
8 children. What happened to these 8 children? Listen up.
from ages between 3 and 8 that were literally slaughtered. Right.
Did you hear that? So these are things happening in the north, in Plateau State, and the National Security Advisor is not talking about that, but he's so interested in trying to insult the sensibility of our fallen heroes. Men and brethren, this is what I said to bring to you. The summary of the whole thing is that the Biafra Remembrance Day of 30th May 2025 really held very well. The heat was felt all over the length and breadth of Biafra land. People sat at home to honor their fallen heroes, and that's what it's supposed to be. So we thank Shukwu Kikabiama for helping our people to take the bold step to respect this order, despite the counter order and the brainwashing that Nigerian government tried to brainwash people with. They stood their ground because they needed to respect our fallen heroes. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you have not subscribed, please try to hit the subscribe button and try to come back next time for more news, history, and enlightenment. Thank you very much and see you in our next video. Bye.